Hey guys, what's going on? It's Junior. Today we're going to be talking about snipers and casters and their sub-archetypes. There are range units, they are super useful, and there's many times you're going to be like needing those for your teams. So it's definitely going to help you out figuring out what type of jobs that they do for your builds and whatnot. So you have your snipers. They're generally range physical damage. All that can change, right? Because we're talking about the archetypes, the sub-archetypes. So they're there just to shoot things. They sit usually on top of your blocks, and they pew pew pew. Sometimes they crocodile. Who knows? So their first one is called the flying priority type. These are the ones that you put in to make sure they kill flyers. Some of the units will not prioritize flyers, so make sure that you need it, that you use those types. There's some of the flyers that kind of just will come out of nowhere, sneak in. Some of them do high damage, like really high damage. They will chunk like thirds of HP away in seconds. And sometimes you need some of these units to make sure that they're shooting those flyers out of the sky immediately. You also have some of your AoE types. These are cheaper than the casters usually. They can do physical damage, or you can have Shiryuki who can do magic damage. It does say physical here, but her S2 allows her to do arts damage too. So if you have there are tanky flyers in this game, and there may be times where you need some kind of tanky flyer like the leader, or even just tanky like ground units, because they'll also attack ground units too. So just in case you're wondering, like, oh man, these only attack flyers. No, they also do ground units too. But it's a good way to put out damage. Shiryuki's a little different than say catapult or meteorite, who like just puts out a projectile and it blows up, and it splashes from there. But Shiryuki, she'll put out an actual shuriken. It will stay in one spot, and anything that walks to that spot will get hit. So it's still a type of AoE damage, just a little different from the other ones. A little unique from that. There's also like your anti-long range types, which is like Archetypes, where when you get him as E1, he will actually target other snipers. So other team snipers, like they have like longbowmen or the crossbowmen or whatever they're called, the snipers, they'll walk out and they'll chunk. They'll try to kill like probably 2-shot or 3-shot your team. He's there to deal with them. Also like the Molotov guys, he'll go for them first. So it's definitely a pretty good unit to potentially consider on your team if you do need that, if you're having trouble with that kind of situation. You also have like your anti-armor type. So you have like Meteor, for example, not Meteorite, but Meteor. She will actually just delete defenses. So she she hits, she'll actually lower defense. So it makes it easier for all your other rangers to do damage, or your melee units to do damage too. You also have Providence. She kind of like has very, very high damage, where pretty much just ignores armor for the most part. Very, very good for killing things super, super fast. It's that high accuracy point blank shots, kind of what she has going on. You also have your anti-squish types. So like Firewatch, she will look for people that have low defense. If they have low defense, she is sniping them. It's usually your mages. So if you need an anti-mage person you don't have enough guards, maybe you don't have that kind of coverage you're able to go ahead and put out, Firewatch might be an option for you. You can get her through recruitments or summons, which is kind of nice. If you ever get to nuke her tag, you're getting a Firewatch. That's pretty much how it works. So definitely look out for her. She's definitely going to be a great unit to use on your team. I use her on both my accounts. I have a YouTube kind of like where I'm showing you guys some of the things account, and I also have an account, like a main account, where I use her everywhere. So she's really great. Definitely super recommend if you get her to potentially, if you can, slot her into your team. And also we have our casters. Casters are way more straightforward. They just do big damage and they cost a ton, and they have low defensive stats. So take care of your casters. They do arts damage, which is your magic types damage in this game. And then like the archetypes are super simple. It's just, you got single targets. So you got like Aya or Amiya with like main character, who just do high single target damage, like really, really high single target damage. So have Durin or Haze. And then you just use them for certain, like you usually pair these together with like your slow units in the game. Remember we talked about these supporters who have slows on them. These are usually ones you pair with them to do that high damage, so you can kill the really, really thick enemies, like the heavy armor guys. So those are, make sure you utilize them, make sure you level them up, you have them in your team ready for their use in certain situations. And you also have like AoE types. AoE types like Skyfire, Lava, Gitano, 12F. 12F is actually really good, guys. He's 2-star. I use him. They do that AoE damage, AoE arts damage, and they're there just purely like if you're getting rushed down with a ton of enemies, if you're getting rushed down with a ton of like very tanky enemies, this is how you get rid of them. This is how you do it. All right. So make sure you guys use them on your teams and whatnot, and it'll definitely help you out. Then we have like our special types, ones that like you use to manipulate SP, which is like your seal points. So the thing to do like the S1, S2s. There's characters that manipulate those. There's some characters will manipulate stats, like Durin. She'll buff like her evasion, and same thing with boost 12F does it too. And like some other characters that will manipulate those kind of stats. Haze, I believe she like lowers people's like resistances. So she'll hit them one time and then they'll actually have lower magic resistance. So you'll actually be able to do more magic damage on them. So she's very useful for that. So if you run into like some of the bosses will have like very high magic resistance. If you're having issues with that, maybe Haze might be a help for you on that team. Also, you have some that do high defense prioritization. Like they will be looking for enemies that actually have high defense to hit them, which is really great. So, you know, pay attention to those. Or you have like people like Ifrit who hit all the enemies in a range. Like if she has a very particular weird range, and she'll hit everybody that it's in that range. Very much like I was talking about earlier with Firewatch, who has like this weird range, like really unique range in this game. And then she'll hit enemies as soon as they pop into there. But she is very slow. So also with this, I was talking about with the casters earlier, they have very particular things they do. And I'll actually show you one of the reasons why you want to use like a lot of AoEs. Some people are like, hey, why would you use like 12F, a 2-star? I do one of my farms, like my LS4 right here. When I'm trying to do this, I use like Aya, who at her on her S2, she gets an AoE. I use Lava, 12F, Gitano, all these AoE units together. And I'll show you guys right here. And I use some of these archers for this map. And you'll see kind of how I use them and how they can be very, very helpful for you and your team. So pretty much on this one right here, you want to put out somebody that can shoot these flyers down. So Exu is really great. You can use Cruz also. She also has an aerial prioritization. But I use this because you need a lot of damage in general, but there's also a couple flyers that you need to get rid of. So make sure you guys are paying attention to that and kind of deal with those hazards as they come through. Now I get rid of her because I don't really need her anymore for like almost the rest of the match until the very end. And I use 12F because I know that there's slugs coming through. There's a lot of them. And you're like, but there's so many other characters. Yeah, but I don't have much DP. And he's super, super cheap. And he's also a AoE unit. I can right away put Gitano out after we killed a bunch of enemies, because every time we kill something, you get a lot of points for summoning things. I'm able to put out my full team, all because I utilized 12F really early. And then now we can go ahead and we're ready for all the thick enemies. See all these high armor enemies that are coming through? We have all these AoE units that can just go blow up all these heavy armor units that are coming through. And then like I might need some little bit spot healing, so I go ahead and throw in our Lancet in here. We talked about that earlier, or one of our familiar units. And then we have a bunch of these sneaky guys that come through, and I just go ahead, I utilize Shaw to push them away. We talked about earlier with our specialists. We use them to push out these enemies that can sneak straight through the defenses, and then we fry them with all of our high AoE. And like just like that, super simple. Utilize all those things I taught you guys in the other videos, and you can complete higher level, higher difficulty levels. Really very easy, and it'll definitely help you out for a lot of stuff. So if you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments. You can always catch me on stream on Twitch, and also you'll have the Discord, and all the links are below, so check them out. And hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys next time.